guys, my name is Kaylin. I also go by kaycreigh, and I am your coach of the LA Spice, the spiciest draft team there is. And you are not looking at me right now. Those are dogs. It's fine. I'm still in my pajamas because I took all day to edit YouTube videos for this weekend. So I figured you wouldn't mind some temporary, super cute hosts. But yes, this video is going to be the team builder for week 3 of the WBE. And I have some special guests from my front office here with us today, and it's going to be a bit of a podcast style video with, of course, pertinent information up on the screen. I do want to say that if you notice anything wonky with the audio, that's my bad. I tried to fix it, and hopefully I did, but it still may be a bit off. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy sitting back, listening to this. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of video, and if you're looking forward to more of these in the future weeks. But yeah, without too much further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
All right, guys, so I am in call right now with Jamie Boyd, Lou the Pikachu, and Bill of VGC is also in call with her as well. If you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick.
So am I going first? Because I was mentioned first? I guess so. So I am Jamie Boyd. I'm a VGC player I've got a YouTube channel. Hopefully that's going to be linked in the description, so you can go and check out some awesome VGC content.
It will be.
But yes, I'm a 3-time regional champion, 2-time world championship top cutter, and I'm glad that we've got a Salazzle here, my signature Pokemon.
That's like a really hard act to follow. So I'm Lou the Pikachu. I'm not the best Pokemon player in the world, but I'm better known for being a commentator for Pokemon events. So I sit behind the desk and talk about what everyone does, whereas these two guys are the ones who actually play properly.
Yeah, and my name is Barish. I go as Bill of VGC on Twitter. I was a former player who now focuses on organizing events. So I was responsible for the Players' Cup for the European qualifier, and I do a lot of regional events as a staff member as well. And all 3 of us, we're like part of the front office of the LA Spice, the spiciest team there is.
Nailed it.
I should just start having you do my intros.
And yeah, like we thought that going into week 3, actually, we should have some team building videos as well, where we basically walk you through our thought process in going into these games and what we came up with. And then ideally a few days afterwards, you can check out how Kay actually proceeded with the plan we came up with.
Yeah, that's the kicker. If I actually pull it off. But yeah, guys, let me know how you like this format, if there are any little things you'd like to see changed. But I figured that this will be much better than just listening to me essentially fumble through what is a well thought out team and plan. So right now on the screen, we have the actual matchup. So we went against the Aussie Gliders this week. As you can see, they are the second cutest team in the league, right behind us. Very stunning, excellent choices. They had a Corsola, and then I think it was actually active this week, starting like with us. They switched Corsola for Sliggoo, which, I mean, I know that Goodra itself is a pretty good counter for Sun. I don't really know what Sliggoo does, I'm gonna be honest, but she's cute and we appreciate her. What do you guys, like, what were your original thoughts when you saw the matchup?
Yeah, so we were looking at the team, and it's basically Sun against Sun. So it's Ninetales against Torkoal. We both have Chlorophyll Sweepers, I want to say, and Venusaur against Lilligant. And it was a really interesting matchup where it was our very offensive team, I want to say. And as long as we have the speed control, because most of our Pokemon are actually faster, we can just out-damage the opposing team. So we were just afraid of Mimikyu setting up Trick Room, or maybe Channelure setting up Trick Room. And we were also, of course, watching back what Zoe brought the last 2 weeks, and the most that he was comfortable were like Lilligant and Torkoal, the infamous combination, and then Mimikyu with any combination trying to set up Trick Room. So we tried to come up with an answer to that that just gives us the upper hand, prevents Zoe from setting up Trick Room, and is also not super weak to Lilligant and Torkoal, because after you and Eruption, it's nothing that you want to just take without having an answer to that. Looking at our team, ideally you're already familiar with our draft. Salazzle, Comfy, Ninetales, Venusaur. But if you're not, then definitely make sure that you check out the last 2 weeks. of our games. But yeah, I think that TYRANITAR is one of the unanswered.
You stole what I was going to say. I was having that ready, talking about TYRANITAR. It's going to be my one contribution.
Do it, Lou. This is your moment.
Yeah,
Go.
shine.
Well, I was going to say, looking at it, like you said, there's sun v sun, whereas the one thing we've got is dual weather, and I think having TYRANITAR that can just come in, switch in, change the weather up, and apply pressure that way, like it can still do a lot to Chandelure, and as you said, you're worried about setting up Trick Room, so that's an offensive pressure you can have on the field. It can do good stuff as well, obviously, to Torkoal, but I think crucially, being able to come in, maybe break the focus sash on that Lilligant as well can be really critical. So looking at it, like TYRANITAR was the one that jumped out at me, and then you fill in the other gaps, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like TYRANITAR is amazing. It doesn't only like have to switch in to change the weather, but it also can lead because it has immense pressure on the Torkoal. We went for a very offensive route that you will see soon, but TYRANITAR was just super offensive. Even as a lead, even if you lose the weather war, you can still put up so much pressure, and max rockfall just allows you to set up sandstorm again. So that was another option. And the idea was, what would you like pair TYRANITAR with, of course, because you don't want to face Lilligant and Torkoal having sun up while you have TYRANITAR on the field without any support to TYRANITAR. And there was one problem. We didn't want to set up Trick Room for them because they have a lot of like Torkoal is the slowest thing. The only thing that we have that is slower than Torkoal is Fungus, but then Fungus doesn't necessarily want to face Torkoal, even though it can put it to sleep. So we decided to not go for the Trick Room route and instead try to prevent her from setting a Trick Room. And at that point, we can just out-damage her. Looking at the speed stats of our opposing team, Meowstic female, which we don't really expect in this matchup, because it just heavily loses to TYRANITAR, is the fastest thing. Everything else is like rather slow. Mimikyu and Togedemaru are worth mentioning, and then there's Lilligant and Sun, of course, being super fast. But Lilligant, the offensive pressure from Lilligant is like, it only really has grass coverage moves, so it has a really hard time against Ninetales and Venusaur. And then Chandelure and Lapras, they again lose to TYRANITAR. Sliggoo is definitely worth mentioning because, as Kay said, Goodra is such a known counter with its super high special defense to some teams. Sliggoo has similar like distribution of stats where its special defense is very high, but HP isn't as high. Defense is even lower than Goodra's. So again, TYRANITAR, our physical sweeper, can just take care of Sliggoo. But it was something worth mentioning because she traded it the week before facing us. It was like, oh wow, maybe that's her plan too.
That's Sapsipper.
And it has Sapsipper, of course, so it's immune to Max Winelash, G-Max Winelash, it's immune to Sleep Powder, and like fire type attacks won't deal any damage at all, especially if paired up with the Evilite. One last note probably from me, so we decided to put up Salazzle and TYRANITAR as the lead option. And we'll see the sets and then we'll go into detail more, but Salazzle and TYRANITAR, they have the Fake Out Pressure, and our very special item that you will see up soon allows Salazzle to even threaten flinches on Ghost-type Pokemon.
Ooh. Okay.
So is there anything you want to add to Jamie?
I agree with everything that has just been said.
And also, like, what were your thoughts, Kay, approaching it? Because obviously, like, I know that we go a lot into detail with it, but just upon initial, like, thoughts looking at the team, was there anything you were immediately concerned with?
Well, okay. So on stream a couple weeks back, I faced a Lilligant and Torkoal, and I didn't know about After You and Eruption, and it blew me back. And so I guess just sort of flashbacks to that experience were lingering in my mind going into this. And so preventing that from happening in this particular battle was definitely important to me. I also had no idea what G-Max Appleton did. I still don't necessarily know what it does. But, you know, she has a lot of like potential threats. Mimikyu is one of my favorite Pokemon. But yeah, the Lilligant and Torkoal lead was very concerning to me.
Okay, at the end of this, we're going to ask you about G-Max Appleton, about what it does. And hopefully by the end of this team builder, you'll know.
It's unfortunate because you guys can see my screen right now. So if I go and Google G-Max Appleton, everyone's going to know. It's fine. I'll figure it out. Okay. So first up, we brought the T-Tar. I messed up the nickname. It's fine. Lou pointed out that it kind of makes him sound like a pirate, just like Reptar. It's good. So yeah, he's Life Orb with Protect, Lash Out, Rock Slide, and Assurance. And we did originally have Dragon Dance on him. And that could have been pretty spicy. But we switched it out, favoring Assurance as a way to make sure that we can knock out the Mimikyu without allowing it to set up Trick Room. Yeah, if you guys want to go into detail about this, that's all the technical knowledge I've got.
Yeah, the Assurance doubling in power when it's already been hit by a move. Salazzle is going to be the fastest Pokemon outside of a Lilligant, but in that case we just fake it out and then set up the Sandstorm. So Salazzle should be able to damage everything before the Tyranitar moves, and then we don't even need to go for Dynamax with the Tyranitar to still be putting out massive damage.
Yeah, and then Dark type attacks and Rock type attacks, they cover for most of the opposing team. We went for an Adamant Life Orb Cheetah, so a max Rockfall is picking up the KO even on the very defensive Talk Walls that some people run. It's even like max HP, max defense will still be picked up by a max Rockfall Life Orb boosted. And then originally we had Dragon Dance because we thought Tyranitar is really not threatened by a lot of Pokemon. So if you find the right moment to go for a Dragon Dance, your Tita is even scarier with that boosted attack and boosted speed. But we have to admit that finding the right moment to set up Dragon Dance when you can just start dealing damage is really tricky. So we thought that Assurance gives us the upper hand in some scenarios, especially after Dynamax. Ninetales that will also come to this matchup, or the really important part.
Spoilers!
I don't know if it actually comes to the game, but that's our plan at least to bring it.
Yeah.
So if Salazzle goes down, we can just fire off heat waves with Ninetales, and then Assurance is just so much stronger than Lash Out because it doubles its power from 60 to 120. So it's almost like max move power for a normal non-max move, I want to say. So yeah, the idea with Tita is it doesn't really need a lot of speed because some stuff is faster anyway. Like Mimikyu, if it decides to go for any speed, it's faster than Tita. The Togedemaru is faster anyway. Lilligant in Sun is faster anyway, and outside we would need a lot of speed to potentially outspeed it, but not really worth it. So we decided to just put all the leftover EVs into defense, having a little bit of random speed there to ideally speed creep. If they decide to, hey, we want to outspeed Tyranitars that don't run any speed, and they go 1 point faster than regular Tita, then we are again 3 point faster than the regular one to outspeed them. The idea is Dynamax Tita, deal a lot of damage, and then have the Sun mode in the back. That was basically our thought. Tita just super strong as the lead option.
Yeah, to touch on that Sun mode, it wouldn't be K if we didn't bring the Ninetales to every game. Even are you K if you don't do that? It's not the real Fox of Spice. But yeah, there's nothing really to add on that Tita. It's phenomenal. I think as long as you hit the rock slides, it's basically going to be our best Pokemon in this matchup.
Why did you just jinx it, Lou?
I know.
Because it's me and I can't help myself. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm going to knock on my desk and pretend that it's wood. All right. And speaking of, she was mentioned a little bit, but Salazzle, Ingrid Cortez, mother to the Spy Kids, is the lead with Reptar, Sludge Bomb, Heat Wave, Fake Out, and Fling. And Fling is actually a really cool tech that I had no idea was a thing, because if you use it with King's Rock, the effect of it is that it's essentially a Fake Out, just without priority, but you can hit Ghost-type Pokemon with it, aka Mimikyu, so allowing you to break the disguise, flinch the Mimikyu so that it doesn't get Trick Room up, and then obviously with the really strong boosted Assurance from T-Tar taking the KO. She did amazing this week. Mom to the Spy Kids, she's a part-time mother, full-time friend, and also a full-time absolute menace on the field because she's amazing. Thoughts?
I'm pretty sure you misspoke there, Kay. She's holding a Queen's Rock.
Oh, dang it.
Of course, she's a queen.
You're right. I'm sorry. She's holding the Queen's Rock.
But this is actually effectively the Salazzle set that I got 9th at the World Championships with. I brought it said it was Razor Fang over King's Rock, but same thing. So it's clearly a Salazzle that can put in the work, and being able to flinch the ghost types while breaking disguise at the same time is hopefully going to be very useful in shutting down the Trick Room.
Yeah, there isn't much to add, really. The idea is that we have fake out pressure against Lilligant token, for example. We can just fake out the Lilligant and max Rockfall to set up Sandstorm again, and then we are faster than the Lilligant next turn, and the Sludge Bomb is really threatening there. Heatwave, just a double target move, helps Tita to pick up some KOs, helps with Togedemaru. Is a really good option, especially if they bring Sun. We have Heatwave in Sun is really strong. And then, the Fling option, as Kay described, is really interesting to play around. You can fake out turn 1, and then you basically have another fake out in that Fling option. It's just really great, and I don't think that a lot of people see that coming. And really interesting as well is that as long as you don't use Fling, because it will actually throw the King's or Queen's Rock in that case, and the item will be gone. But as long as you are carrying the Queen's Rock, your Heat Wave and Sludge Bomb also have a 10% chance to flinch the opponent. So that's really interesting side effect. In that case, we'll see if that would come up. It's not super likely, but it's a little extra chance you have. Imagine going for a Heat Wave, not doing a lot of damage, but then flinching opposing Torkoal, for example. That would be really interesting to see. But yeah, just the fake out support and the fling support. Basically, we thought that there was no real chance that they set up Trick Room if we lead with TYRANITAR and the Salazzle.
Yeah, it's just super disruptive. You can break potential sashes on Chandelure and Lilligant, and then also obviously disrupting the ability on Togedemaru, and just being able to do some really good damage. So yeah, it's a cheeky little Pokemon. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, just to touch on the split, Salazzle is the fastest Pokemon between both, across both teams. So we basically just made sure that it's faster than the Meowstic. Meowstic with its Psychic type can pick up the KO on Salazzle, so ideally we are faster, either being able to flinch something or deal damage before we have to take a Psyshock or a Psychic. That was the idea. Max special attack to deal out maximum damage, and the rest goes into bulk, into HP, to have a chance to survive some attacks.
Yep, she's amazing. She's gonna do great.
She always does.
True.
Boy's favorite Pokemon.
And then next up, of course, we have Plant, who is once again running Assault Vest, just bulky as heck, with Giga Drain actually meaning to bring Giga Drain this time, not on accident. Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, and Outrage is actually for the Sliggoo, because as it turns out, that thing is actually very difficult to knock out.
Yeah, some teams need to respect it. Essentially, Goodra, Sliggoo does the same thing. You have to respect it, and Outrage is the best way to hit it for a Venusaur, which is quite amusing.
I did not know that it got Outrage, also.
Not many people would.
No. And even if it gets it, not many people would put it on a team. But like you said, with kind of a draft sort of tournament, you need to put these niches on. And Sliggoo, if we let it work around us, particularly with Sap Sipper, there's not a lot the Venusaur can really do to it. So having something like Outrage is just going to be able to pick up the KO, get rid of it, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, ideally, of course, Aldrich has the 50-50 chance of attacking either of the opposing Pokemon. So our idea was that if we just make sure that we KO all of Sliggoo's friends, and then Sliggoo has to face Venusaur on its own, and the Aldrich is confirmed to land into that Sliggoo, then we have a good chance. So just prioritize all the other Pokemon, because Sliggoo is very defensive, but it's not the most offensive threat. So it's not like it's picking up one KO after the other. At least I hope it doesn't. So that we can ignore it at the beginning and then just finish it off with an Outrage, because the physical defense of Sliggoo is very low.
Yeah, she's going to do amazing. And of course, the ultimate partner to Gmax Venusaur, the undisputed best Sunsetter, Ninetales. Foxy Spice is coming again. She's amazing. She's just doing monstrous damage in this league. Heat Wave, Solar Beam, Scorching Sands, Calm Mind. She's set to just ruin people's lives and make me really proud and look great while doing it.
I think that's the thing though, when you picked Ninetales, everyone was like, why didn't you get Torkoal? Torkoal's so amazing, but honestly, Ninetales has been really putting in the work. Like you said, Kay, it's doing like a lot of offensive pressure. It's hanging on the field as well with the amazing EVs that my fellow front office people have made here. And it's beautiful and shiny. Like, what more can you want?
You could want it to outspeed a Mimikyu and a Togedemaru with that speed stat. Oh, I'm so good at segues.
So yes, apparently that's what the speed is for, which I did not know. So thank you for that.
There we go. In the notebook. Let's put it down.
So yeah, like I think Lou and we like joined the front office from Kay like last minute. We basically joined when the draft started, and she already picked Venusaur, which I think is an amazing G-Max. And then we started like putting up a plan together what we can do around this like Venusaur, and obviously it needs like sun support or like it heavily benefits from it. But yeah, we decided to like draft Dusclops and Tita beforehand, and then we still had the option between Torkoal and Ninetales. And yeah, like we were just outnumbered there by LA Spice having to go for Ninetales, and I'm a little bit suspicious because in VGC, like the combination of Venusaur Torkoal with Dusclops and Tita was very dominant for the last couple of months. So having that in a draft league would be really good. But then, like, I have to apologize to Ninetales. It has done amazing things. That it was like going into this week. It is our. It has picked up the most KO so far with 6 in total. So a leader in that respect. And it's just amazing. It's like especially bulky here, so it can deal with opposing Sun teams as well. Offensive, setting up Sun, Heatwave in Sun, very strong. And Calm Mind just allows us to pick up some free turns and boost our special defense even further.
I was always Team Ninetales. I just want that on the record.
That is true. I also want to add that I think, just sort of in defense of Ninetales, not that anyone is asking right now, I think that on our particular team, we have a strong enough Trick Room option as it is. I mean, with Araquanid and with T-Tar and Dusclops and all of the other slow boys. Of course, we cannot forget Lil Gus. That honestly, I think that having the speedier Sunsetter actually works in our favor a lot of the time. At least that's what I've found in the matches that we've had so far, is that I'm really appreciating the fact that she's speedy and fast.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because the team's so versatile. Like you said, we've got all these slow Pokemon, but you also need things on the other end of the scale. And I think having the versatility in like weather and obviously offensive pressure and speed really, really works well for Ninetales.
Yes. Speaking of...
Ninetales even has some surprises that we will hopefully get to use in the following weeks that we don't want to touch on yet, but there's more to come about this Ninetales.
She's going to do amazing. And speaking of things that are going to do amazing, Lil Gus is coming this week. An absolute monster, the boy, with Spore, Pollen Puff, Giga Drain, and Rage Powder. And, you know, he's just there to be an extreme threat, is what I think we can agree on here. People see Lil Gus and they see fear. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on this?
Well, that's definitely what happens when you see a Moongus, and Foongus does exactly the same job. Like, you've always got to be wary of Spore, like the guaranteed sleep. You don't have to deal with the shaky accuracy of Sleep Powder. It's always going to be able to put in work. Redirection is always beneficial, and with the EVO Light, it's actually pretty bulky.
And then Regenerator, so we can just get his health back. We love that for him.
Yeah, amazing. And Pollen Puff hasn't seen a lot of usage in previous formats on Among Us, but I think it's amazing that you're able to deal damage, even if it's just chip damage here and there, but you have the option to heal your partner Pokemon by 50%, which I think is a really good option. Yeah, Foongus, or Lil Gus, how we call him, he is basically scare off the opposing Trick Room mode, and if by any chance, that was our plan. So our plan is to have the first 4 Pokemon, Repta, Ingrid Cortez, and then Plarn, and Furry Spice? Oh, yeah.
Foxy Spice.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh no.
Okay. I like Furry Spice as well, though. I'm so sorry.
You're so off the team.
I definitely have to step up my nickname game on this team. But yeah, the idea was to bring the first 4, ideally dominate the games and don't have to worry about it. But just in case, there's a little Gus backup, basically. Having Foongus in the back, if by any chance she has an amazing plan that we didn't see coming, and she's able to set up Trick Room and manages to win a game that we can just threaten Fungus in game 2 and 3 because it's the fastest thing across both, the slowest Pokemon across both teams. So if she sets up Trick Room, then she has to worry about those sleeps coming in and disrupting the team. But it's just a backup plan, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing like Lil Gus picking up a KO in this matchup, but ideally it doesn't have to shine yet.
I think it'd be amazing if Lil Gus gets KO. But one thing as well, like I think Boyd's probably best to answer this, but why have we got Eviolite over like Focus Sash, for example? Because I feel like a lot of people would think that we would just put Sash on such a little mushroom.
You generally don't want to Focus Sash when you've got your own Sandstorm setter, because you just break your own Focus Sash in that case, and then that kind of defeats the point. And with the Eevio, like, Fungus can be bulky enough to take the hits, that it won't go down in one hit.
Fair play, tough little mushroom.
You're making a lot of sense here. Also, I apologize. Bella was just coughing. That was my dog. Everything is fine.
I hope she's okay.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Also, partway through the explanation of Lil Gus, Kirby unplugged my headphones, so I assume that you guys knocked that one out of the park, but I was not.
We rambled away. It's good as hell. We talk about Lil Gus all day. So good.
Great. Okay. So last but definitely not least, Shelob, aka the only cute Araquanid the world has ever seen. She's, again, I think sort of there in the event that we do get absolutely decimated by Trick Room in one game. So she's gonna be a slow girl. Scald, Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, and Protect with safety goggles. And yeah, she's very cute. Thoughts?
Yeah, so safety goggles are to ignore potential sleep powders from the Lilligant that we have to face. We went for a special route because Torquil's special defense is lower than the physical defense, so Scalds will do a lot of damage even in Sun while ignoring any potential sleep powders. We have Bug Buzz as another stab type or stab attack, and then Giga Drain because usually Shelob it would struggle against the Gastrodon that is on the opposing team as well. But having the Giga Drain there as well will just help to win the 1v1 against Gastrodon, because Storm Drain will just ignore or like redirect any Scalds. So having an answer just really helps us there. And Shelob is also amazing because it has a really high special defense. Again, helps us against Sun teams. Water Bubble, amazing ability against Sun teams as well. So I think it was just a backup plan. Maybe scare off our opponent as well, going for a Trick Room mode there. But yeah, they were like backups. I want to say we were so confident in our first 4, and then we kind of struggled to find like the perfect 5th and 6th Pokemon. But I feel like Lilgus and Shelob, they fit perfectly in this team. Scare of the opponent. Hopefully shine if they come. But yeah, that's basically Shelob for you.
Yeah, and that's the team for this week. I'm particularly excited. I think that the Salazzle set is really cool. I think that the fling with Queen's Rock, I won't say it wrong again. The fling with King's Rock is, dang it! I literally just said it. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to potentially use it. And yeah, we're 1-1 right now. So if we manage to pick up the win this week, then we will be 2-1, which may be my first time ever in draft that I would have like a more wins than losses. So that would be cool. But yeah, Zoe definitely has a lot of threats on her team, and I think that we've answered them all pretty well. But we'll have to see if, it's on me at this point to not fumble the bag, as I sometimes occasionally have been known to do. But yeah, anything else that you guys have to add?
I would love to hear your guys' opinion on all these stats, and if you think that we have found a good plan against Zoe's team. What do you think about the Queen's Rock on Salazzle? And if you maybe have any suggestions on what we should bring in the next few weeks against the Furious Fishes, for example, coming up next week, a very water type heavy team. So yeah, just looking forward to see some comments and some notes from you guys. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I think I just want to like pop on the record as well. Like I know that I think in this matchup we have the better matchup, and we seem to be pretty prepared for a lot of our options. But I know, like you say now, you've got a pilot at K, but like you have improved so much in VGC, and like every single week, the stuff that you're learning and the way you're piloting the teams is just phenomenal progress. So like I just want to kind of basically tell you you're awesome.
Thank you.
I think honestly, like I think ahead of this, you've got a really good plan. You do know your stuff. And yeah, look, I'm really excited to actually see the match. So best of luck, Kay.
Thank you. All right,
And
guys.
I'm not going to be able to follow that, so I'll just say you're awesome as well.
I appreciate you guys. And thank you all for watching this. Let me know if you like this, more informative, more in-depth team builder. A lot of work goes into these, and I think that it's cool to be able to sit and talk about it, and also so that you guys hear more than just me being like, here it is, which is what I normally do. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see these continue. I think that it's a lot of fun. But yeah, if you're enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the battle that comes out tomorrow. We're actually going to be watching it as a premiere, so you can all hang out in the chat and we can watch it together. All right. Have an amazing day, and tune in next time for more shenanigans. I said it right. Bye.